This is the new Vango Nexus UL2, and on paper it looks like it could be all the tent you need for wild camping in the UK. So in this video we're going to have a proper look at the tent before I take it out for a wild camp next week. Come on. The specs on this say that it's got a weight of 1.9 kilos and a trail weight of 1.7, but on my scales it weighs in at just a smidgen under 2 kilos. So they're really pushing it with that 1.9 kilo claim. But then 2 kilos isn't a lot at all for a 2-person backpacking tent. Looks like there's about a kilo of instructions in this bag. Pack size is tiny as well. On the specs it says 33 by 13 centimeters, but I measured this at about 38 by 14. But there is some give in there as well, so I'm sure they are pretty spot on with those claims. This is part of the F10 or Force 10 range of Vango tents. So it's their higher end tents, I guess, but it's by no means a mega expensive tent either. I picked this up for 250 quid. You can get them for around 240 now. If you just put the name of the tent into Google, they'll come up in the search results. And I did pay for this myself. Vango didn't send this to me for free, even though I asked them for one and told them I have got 8 million subscribers on YouTube. They just blanked me, so I bought one myself. So we've got a fly sheet and an inner. We can connect those together and keep them together so it's an all-in-one pitch, or you can pitch it just with the outer. It's a 2-pole tent as well, and they've got these pre-bent sections on them, and it's Vango's, what are they called, Pro Tex or Pro Alloy or something, Power Light, that's it. The materials Pro-Tex. And then we've obviously got in here some pegs. These little bags are quite nice. They've got an elastic loop that goes over the top, so these are the V-shaped alloy Vango pegs. We've got 10 of those, and then we've got this little repair kit bag. So I'm just going to have a look what's in there. Probably a pole sleeve. Yeah, so we've got a pole repair thingy bob, and then some of the green material and some of the thicker red material that's for the bathtub. Isn't that nice? So this is it pretty much fully set up. The only thing I haven't done is put these guy lines out. There's just one at each side, so you've got a pegging point on each corner, and on the inner of each corner there's a separate bungee cord, so that should pull the inner nice and tight, and then you've got an adjustable pulley here, so you can obviously adjust how tight that corner is and really hunker it down to the ground. One thing I've struggled with is these end pegging points, so that's as loose or long as you could get it, and they've got these pre-tied loops on them which I think the peg should go into. So if I just show you, and it's probably me, but if I put that peg through there and peg it down, you can see how much loose slack I've got there. I'll either need to move those loops or just make sure that when I peg these ends out, kind of do it like that. You can put a separate peg in there as well. This is just to pull out obviously that top bit. Design wise it looks very similar to the Wild Country Helm 2. I don't think it's quite as tall, but we'll see in more detail when we get inside. Looks like it might be a little bit wider though, and it does really drop down low to the floor. We've got a vent on each side as well. So you've got, as you would expect, the storm flap on the door here. There's 2 pieces of Velcro, one at the bottom, one halfway up, and then you've got a buckle at the bottom, because it is a dual zip door, so that buckle just stops any wind from pulling your door like that and pulling the zip up. I do hate these toggle clips, especially when there's no elastic on it, so that might have been better if that door could just pin back onto the pole there somehow, but there aren't many tents that do that. One thing to note is you've obviously got 2 vestibules, but they're not that deep. This is only about 33 centimeters deep. It is a pretty steep wall, so you could get a few bits in there, but really I think you're looking at this as a nice spacious 1-person tent where you put the majority of your gear inside the tent with you, rather than relying on those vestibules to store things in. You have got this string or cord here as well, that's part of Vango's TXS system, which is an upgrade from their TBS. I'll jump inside and explain what that is in a second. So this is the bit where I realised I've put the inner in the wrong way round, so my door is actually opening that way when it should be over here behind the vestibule area, but I'll swap that round in a minute. So straight away I can tell it's not as high as the Helm 2, but you know, hunkering down a bit should make it better in windy conditions. So on the inner, we've got a 6,000mm hydrostatic head floor. The fly's 3,000mm. We've got really big, decent sized pockets down the end there. There's a pocket there for the door. Then in the roof lining, there's these little triangular pockets. So there's 2 on that side and 2 on the other side as well. Got a hanging loop there and 1 on the other side. And yeah, don't get me wrong, the height's not terrible. It's just in the right, or the wrong angle, sorry. I can touch it with my head. So if I'm on a mat, I am probably going to be touching it, but I'm not bothered. So width, we're 130 centimeters wide. That's not bad at all. And then length inside, we're 220, so that's pretty standard. I'll just show you this TXS system. So from the apex in the roof there, you've got 2 cords that come out with a buckle on, and then on each edge you've got another cord that runs all the way from there, connects into that buckle, and then you can pull it, you know, slightly tight but not overly tight. But if you're in some bad conditions, this can really help to strengthen the structure of your tent. And there's gaps in the doors to allow these to pass through. Obviously when they are set up, they're a bit in the way, but you would probably only connect them when you're in the tent and ready to sort of hunker down for the night. I've just flipped the inner around the right way, so the door is opening on the right side now. Ruby's loving it in there. But what I'm looking for is, when you're not using this TXS system, I'm sure I've seen somewhere that there's like a storage pocket for it, just so that you can tuck it out of the way, and I can't see it anywhere inside here. So if anybody knows where that is, just drop a comment so it stops driving me crazy, because that is going to be rarely used and ideally should be tucked away in a little pocket somewhere. Now there probably is one there and I'm probably being blind, but if you know where it is, let me know. So first impressions, it does seem like a really decent tent for the weight and for the price. My only reservations that I need to test are the toggles on these doors. They can get annoying. There are ways around those though. The doors themselves look quite small. The height inside is something that I'll need to see if I can live with, and obviously the smaller vestibules, although I don't tend to use vestibules, so I don't think that'll be an issue. So is this all the tent you need for wild camping in the UK? Well, as I said, it does look like it could be on paper. I need to get it out there and test it out before I give any kind of verdict on it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you next time. Okay, you like it?